Hi folks, it's Farmer Tom here. It's lunchtime, it's Wednesday the 24th of February, the 24th day of our Cheese a Day challenge. And after 23 standout cheeses, surely there can't be a 24th. Well, let me tell you, there is. And to taste our cheeses with us today, we have Choral Whiz, Tourophile and Director General of the Country Land and Business Association, Sarah Hendry.
Welcome, Sarah Hendry. Thank you so much for being here today and to taste this cheese with us.
Well, do you know, Tom, I feel hugely privileged and honoured to be asked. I've been sort of watching it as the month goes on and thinking, who are all these amazing people who are being invited to do this? And then when you asked me, I was so chuffed.
No. Well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you along, and I know you've been tasting along as well. But I wanted to talk to you about music first of all, because you're a big music fan. I think you managed to find time in your diary to be at the part of the Wimbledon Choral Society. I think you might even be the director of it.
Chair. I'm the chair. The director is our musical guy. He's an incredibly talented guy. So I just do help to do the admin behind the scenes to make it happen, which is really tough now during lockdown because we can't sing properly. We can meet on Zoom once a week, and so we're trying to keep it together. But everybody's just desperate to be able to sing together again. That's the whole point, that you're in a room together and you just make noise.
Well, it's great. Although I think it's sometime in May, isn't it, when we can start really doing stuff again, that Boris's announcement on Monday at least gives us something to aim for, something to be hopeful.
Yes. Yeah. So we've got a concert booked in the autumn.
And there'll be people watching of a more severe musical bent. What is your voice? What part do you play in the Choral Society?
A second soprano, which I think is a great place to be, because you get to do the top part, which is where a lot of the glamour happens, but you get a little bit of the complication of doing a lower line, which keeps the brain cells ticking over. Apparently, in the past, the ladies in our choral society used to wear their wedding dresses, but we don't.
That's quite a dry cleaning bill for every performance.
I think it would be. Yeah.
Especially if you got the big train. That's what the first sopranos will be wearing.
Yeah. No, we fade into the background because it's about the whole, not the individuals.
Well, that's the beauty of being of a choir. You're in a real team, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah. And what I like about it is that you spend the whole day, I don't know, to some extent, directing and working out what needs to happen. And then when you go to choir, you just stand there and do what you're told to do. And the aim is that you don't stick out from anybody else. Yeah. It's a leveler.
I mean, you're my guest today, so you get to choose what musical accompaniment we can have as we taste this cheese. And by the magic of technology, I shall add that. What's your favourite piece of music?
So I think if I go, it's naughty because it's not a piece of choral music, but my really favourite piece of music are by Vaughan Williams, so famous English composer, and I think I would go for the Fantasia on a Theme by Thomas Tallis, they used it in Master and Commander, the film, which is quite unexpected, but it is the most beautiful piece of music.
I think there's a whole classical cheese tasting album waiting to be published.
Yes.
You're, of course, Director General of the CLA. So what does your job entail?
It's really largely about making sure that the organisation runs properly and that we're doing all the right things for the members, particularly when you think about the year that we've had, a combination of Brexit and new agricultural policies evolving and all of the complications that COVID has brought to people's businesses and things. It's been a hell of a year, and like everybody else, we've all been working from our dining room tables and from home. So I guess I need to know about everything, but I'm an expert in none of it almost, because it's about making sure that the whole organisation pulls together and is doing the right things.
That's right. So you're keeping the engine going.
Yeah, I like to think so. Yeah, it's a great organisation. It's feels like it's because you work on land and the environment and food. It couldn't be a more exciting time and a more important time. It's so relevant and everybody is talking about it. So it's a very exciting time to be at the CLA. It really is.
Well, I certainly agree with all that, and of course you came through DEFRA as well, so you've had quite an involved history from all different angles. What was your route through to being Director General of the CLA?
Well, I joined when I started work first. I joined the old Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food, MAF.
Wow. Okay.
And that was because, this is a bit of heresy now, but I joined that because I wanted to do European stuff. I originally, my career path was I'd like to go and work in Brussels, and joining the civil service and working on European areas of policy was the big draw. And I did a hell of a lot of that throughout almost 30 years before I joined the CLA. And lots of it was, areas that are relevant now: rural environment, climate change, farming, and some work on health and public health, which has given me a little bit of an insight in what must be going on with my former colleagues at the moment, working on the COVID crisis pandemic as well. So really varied, really interesting, and I like to think it's given me quite a broad background, even though I've never myself worked on a farm or worked on the land.
Fantastic. And you obviously came into the CLA just a handful of years ago. I remember hearing Stuart Roberts talk about the NFU, and he said it wasn't until I actually came on board fully that I really appreciated all the things that they did. And it must be the same with the CLA. Have there been things that have surprised you and thought, gosh, I had no idea? I mean, I knew all the things that we did, but I had no idea quite the scope of it all. Is there anything that's
I think the thing that really struck me immediately was just the breadth of different business interests that CLA members have got. I think when I worked in the civil service, tended to think of it from a farming angle. It was a lot of what I worked on, and the touch points with the CLA were around farming, not completely. Some of it was around rural policy as well. But when you actually get inside and start to meet lots of different members, the range of different sub-businesses that they have in their land, and all of the buildings and the assets and the work they do in the local community and what have you, it's really very broad, and as I say, that's what makes it quite exciting and really interesting.
Oh, brilliant. Well, talking of exciting and interesting, we've got a cheese to taste today, and you've been on the cheese journey with us these last few weeks. Have you? Do you have a standout, or has there been a favourite, or has there anything surprised you in particular?
The thing that surprised me is just the range and the breadth of different cheeses that you can now get from the British Isles. And it was particularly when you told me, we're going to be looking at the Yarg, it made me think back to the 1980s when everybody had a good laugh about Lineswold, and the range of cheeses was really, all that we knew about was fairly limited. And I started, I was a linguist, I used to study French and German, and I started going off to France and realising that there are all these amazing cheeses, and I spent 6 months in Normandy. And you compare then and now, and our knowledge of, and all of the different fantastic cheeses that you can actually get at home, things have developed really, really well. And so it's been such a fun journey. I think I keep saying the runny cheeses have been my standout so far, because I like a strong flavour, and they've got a really good flavour. And I had no idea that we produce cheeses like that in this country.
It's been great fun, and actually everyone notable for different reasons. So yeah, it's been pretty exciting. And I guess over that period of the last 40 years, we've got to the point where now we have more cheeses, more types of cheese produced in the UK than I think in France and Belgium put together. So it's been a tremendous time for artisan cheese making here in the UK, and long may that continue.
Yes, and we need to get the message out there and get some of the names out there. And of course, Yarg is one of the more well-known ones, I suspect. Yeah. So I was searching my memory about whether I've actually ever tried it before. I'm not sure. I certainly haven't seen this beautiful rind on it. It looked amazing. And I was looking at the pictures online. It's a work of art.
It's pretty distinctive, isn't it? Well, I'll just let me get mine unpacked here. Well, let's get into this cheese. This is of course the Cornish Yarg, famous for many reasons, not least the nettle rind that it has on it. And the nettle rind actually does a number of things, as well as give it a bit of protection, but actually serves to kind of alter the acidity on the surface of the rind and allow the I suppose the cheese to form in a different fashion. It's a Caerphilly style cheese, which of course answers the answer to the question, how do Welshmen eat their cheese? Carefully. And it's called Yard because it's actually grey backwards. So it was the Grey family who some years ago discovered a 1615 recipe in their attic for a nettle wrapped semi-hard cheese. And so the name was just reversed to produce the name Cornish Yard. I think the original recipe was thought to be dating back to the 13th century.
Oh.
So that is some heritage right there on the plate. But Sarah, let's cut into it. Let's have a little sniff, and then we'll see what it's.
Lovely and soft, really.
Well, that's a lovely smell.
Isn't it lovely? Lovely and
Yeah.
clean and fresh. And it's coming off on my nose as I.
So I'm going to taste.
Lovely crumbly looking texture.
Yeah, I'm going to taste the inside first because I remember Johnny Crickmore talking about the different flavours and the rind and the bit in between and the middle. So.
Right, inside first.
Well, it's one of those cheeses that melts, isn't it? Actually, it's
That's very delicate. For my mouthful, but it's so good.
But it's also got it's got that a slightly distinct flavour, which I suspect comes from the rind. But it's very, very pleasant.
That's really pleasant. I've tried it with the rind. Have you done the rind yet?
Yeah, I'm just chomping into the rind now. That is a lovely cheese for a sunny Wednesday lunchtime. That is incredible.
Yeah, I love the texture. Really, really good. Do you know what I've got here? This is the best pickle. This is my mum's pickle.
Oh, brilliant!
And the test is always just to see how it stands up to the pickle. So I'm going to give it just a little bit of the pear and apple and onion pickle.
Brilliant. Well, I'll let you give it your test. I've got a test here as well. So how's it going with the pear and apple pickle?
Well, it's going very well. I think probably that works very well, but you only need a tiny bit because the pickle's quite strong. So you don't want to open.
Well, I've got a. Oh, go on.
I was going to say, carry on, because now I'm.
Well, my accompaniment test is my Wednesday lunchtime bacon butty, so I'm just going to pop it with that, and I shall let you describe the rind whilst I fill my face with Cornish Yard and bacon butty.
So I'm going to try the rind now again. The pretty little hangover there over the edge. I can taste a slight bitterness. No hairs, no prickle, no. I like it with the rind. There's a slightly peppery taste on the back of my tongue. That's really good. I could eat this. I've eaten so much cheese this month. My bones will be as strong as strong. Good for the calories. I could eat all of that in one sitting.
Comfortably.
Really Moorish.
It's actually a lovely balance between the rind and the centre actually as well. They've both got distinct, lovely flavours, but they certainly marry well. And and it's top marks on the bacon butty accompaniment as well. I'm going to go.
I'll try that. I'll take it and have that for breakfast tomorrow.
The bacon butty test.
Yeah, that'll be fabulous.
Well, Sarah, I traditionally ask our guests to give a score out of 10, and I'm very generous. I allow decimals and fractions. Where would you be putting that?
Well, I'm quite a mean scorer because you always want to leave a bit of room in case something else comes afterwards. Right, I think that's about an 8 3/4.
Oh, yeah.
I think, leaving just a little bit of headroom for something else that might come in. But I haven't given anything over 9 yet, definitely. So
it's up in the top echelons. Well, I think I agree with you.
I think
I agree.
the nettle edge there is the really distinctive thing about it, as well as just how pretty it looks. It really is so pretty.
And there are lots of things in nettles which are good for you. So I'm imagining this. I mean, I'm going to call it one of my 5 a day, but I'm imagining it's imparting other properties as well. So
Yes, yeah, definitely.
yeah.
If you needed an excuse for eating this, then that's a really good one. No, this is really good. I'm going to give it another little touch of Mum's pickle.
Oh.
Oh.
A match absolutely made in heaven.
Heaven. Great way to spend a lunch hour.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. This has been an absolute delight, both on a personal and on a cheese front. It's great to kind of connect with another Turophile, and it's as if we're in the same room, just tasting the same cheese.
Isn't it amazing what you can do on Zoom? We don't promote particular companies.
I mean, other video streaming platforms are available, but
but no, it is. It's such a good thing to do. Thank you, Tom. I'm really, really chuffed, really flattered to have been asked. Thank you.
Oh, good. Well, I shall have a spring in my step this afternoon from a beautiful Wednesday lunchtime Cornish yarg. So, Sarah Henry, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Tom. Have a great afternoon.